Greetings and welcome to my interview reflection video. I'm Rebecca Reavers. I'm a student at Liberty University and I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Science degree in psychology with a focus of addictions and recovery. And for this assignment, we're tasked with interviewing a local professional working in the psychology or helping field to gain some real-world insight into what the day-to-day actually looks like. I had the privilege of interviewing Haley Lutz. Haley holds a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and currently works as a CLTS Service Coordinator and CCS Service Facilitator. She also serves as my oldest son's CLTS Coordinator. For those who might not be familiar with those acronyms, CLTS stands for Children's Long-Term Support, and CCS stands for Comprehensive Community Services. These are vital social service programs that help individuals with diverse needs navigate the communities and homes successfully. Meeting with Haley provided me with a very realistic perspective on social services, highlighting both the fulfilling aspects and the systemic challenges. During our interview, I first asked Haley to describe her daily job duties. She explained that she works primarily with children and families facing a variety of different challenges. A lot of her work centers around disability-related needs, as well as intensive mental health needs. Her main goal is to assist families in finding the most appropriate supports and services to meet specific outcomes. What I found really interesting is that these outcomes aren't just dictated to the families, they are collaboratively determined by the family and Haley. They sit down and figure it out. What do we need to make this child and this family more successful in their home and their community? From there, Haley helps guide them toward the appropriate funding for items, providers, or services. Of course, the reality of social work involves a lot of red tape. Haley mentioned that her job comes with a mountain of paperwork. A huge part of her day is just helping families understand Medicaid, which is a notoriously complex system to navigate. But it's not all desk work. There are many opportunities to be out in the field. In her CCS role, the focus is on spending more one-on-one time with consumers. She is required to have monthly face-to-face contacts with her CCS clients, which means a lot of home visits. For her CLTS families, the requirement is less frequent, needed to see them just twice a year, but the focus on community integration remains exactly the same. Next, I asked Haley what she finds most fulfilling about working in this industry. Her answer was incredibly insightful. She mentioned that she loves having the opportunity to give back using funds that are often viewed controversial. Tax dollars. She finds a deep sense of satisfaction knowing that public money is going directly toward helping others, specifically children in need, right in our local community. She also emphasized how much she loves advocating for her consumers. She told me, I know what it was like to need a person to stand up for you as a youth, and I believe that everyone deserves a fair shot at life, no matter what their circumstances are. My time in the Army ingrained a strong sense of duty and a protective instinct to stand up for those beside you. In hearing Haley talk about that relentless advocate for youth who just needs someone in their corner really resonated with me. When clients are willing to put in the work for themselves, Haley is right there beside them, fighting for their fair shot. That kind of tangible advocacy is exactly why I am drawn to this field. But no job is without hurdles, so I asked Haley to describe what she finds most challenging. She was very candid and pointed straight to the school systems. Currently, she finds that schools often do not follow many of the state requirements or the mandates set by the Department of Public Instruction. Haley noted a severe lack of resources for students who desperately need them. Educational staff are similarly unsupported and often cannot follow through on individualized education programs or IEPs. She acknowledged how tough it is. She has to nag teachers to follow through, even while knowing that the schools have set these teachers up to fail by under resourcing them. Managing the educational needs and schedules of 3 boys of my own, I've seen firsthand how stretched out the school systems are. Teachers are burning out because they aren't supported. Haley mentioned that this exact lack of support is driving educators away from teaching and into teams like hers in the social services sector. It's a sobering reality check about how broken some of our institutional systems are and how heavily social workers have to compensate for those gaps. To understand how she manages these heavy responsibilities, I asked what she does to continue her professional growth. In a field that is constantly evolving, staying stagnant is an option. Haley's team regularly meets with a psychologist through their clinical services department for psychological consults and mental health trainings. These sessions expand their knowledge and help them understand the current functions of various diagnoses, as well as emerging trends within those diagnoses. They also spend time discussing how different medications and diagnoses interact with one another, and they brainstorm new tools and strategies to better support their clients. It sounds like a highly collaborative environment that prioritizes continuous learning. Finally, I asked Haley what recommendations she would give to a student pursuing work in the field. Her advice was simple but powerful. Be open minded. She advised not to limit yourself to the exact job you think you want because every role opens doors to things you may never have expected. For example, she discovered she enjoys CCS much more than CTLS because she only found CCS through her CLTS role. And she only found CLTS because she worked at a mentoring program in college. You just never know where one opportunity will lead. This entire interview process has been a profound learning experience for me. As I transition into my master's program in addiction counseling this coming spring, Haley's advice to remain open-minded is exactly what I needed to hear. It's easy to get tunnel vision when you have a specific career path mapped out, but this is assignment reminding me that the helping professions is vast and interconnected. Reflecting on this assignment, the biggest takeaway for me is the critical importance of systemic advocacy. We spend a lot of time in our coursework learning about individual psychology, theoretical frameworks, and counseling techniques, but Haley's interview highlighted the systemic barriers like navigating Medicaid or fighting for IEP compliance in underfunded schools that heavily impact an individual's mental health and success. You can be the best counselor in the world, but if your client is failing in school because their IEP is ignored, or if their family can't access basic community resources, your clinical work will only go so far. This interview has broadened my perspective. It showed me that working in psychology isn't just about sitting in a room and talking. It's about getting out in the field, navigating red tape, collaborating with medical professionals, and fighting for your client's right to a fair shot. I'm incredibly grateful to Haley for her time and her transparency. This conversation has absolutely solidified my passion for this work and given me a much clearer picture of the challenges and rewards awaiting for me after graduation. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.